What's going on, guys? Well, we're out here at HQ, and as you can see, it's raining, but we're not going to let the rain stop our progress. I'm wanting to start on Ryder's hideout and get that big old metal building that was over Mike and Lissa's camper moved up to the boneyard. We can't move it today because of the rain, but I have Uber out here at HQ. So we're gonna go ahead and get that loaded up, and I need to go get some 6x6s, 20 footers, because that's what we're gonna put up underneath the skids to be able to lift up the building to transport it. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything in place, and when I get back to the mountain, I will show you what the game plan is for moving this massive 18 by 35 foot building all at one time. I forgot the key to Uber. Got it. Gotta wipe the seat off or else my booty's gonna get wet. That was like some Final Destination stuff right there. Having to stick your head up underneath the bush hog. All right, guys, let's go get those 6x6. All right, guys, we made it back to the mountain. We're gonna go ahead and get Uber unloaded up here in the boneyard, and then we're going to use the grapple after we drop the bucket off right there to grab the two 6x6 20 footers that we got. I didn't show that where we was at because it was raining and I was trying to help the young guy get them loaded. But I loaded them right up underneath Uber all the way up and put the bush hog down on it to lock everything into place. Whenever I pick up the bush hog and also lift the bucket, I'll be able to slide those 6x6s up a little bit. Should get out of the way of the ramps. Should be able to unload it, use the hydraulics. I am wearing my back brace. I broke my wrist brace, guys, so that's why y'all don't see that on me right now. I got another one somewhere. I just got to find it. Let me get y'all set up, and we'll get this done before more rain comes.
Bought me some land with a prayer and a grunt. Said I'll build a homestead, now walk with a hunch. Got a tractor named Uber, he's blind in one line. He cleared a tree right into my satellite. I hit record, tried to teach folks how, but I fell in a hole and got bit by a cow. Me and no Uber, we're breaking the land with a chainsaw, duct tape, and one shaky hand. I'm a YouTuber now with a channel called Out, where I teach folks what not to do and how. We're living off-grid, making friends and one life. He cleared a tree right into my satellite. I hit record, tried to teach folks how, but I fell in a hole and got bit by a cow. Me and no Uber, we're breaking the land with a chainsaw, duct tape, and one shaky hand. I'm a YouTuber now with a channel called Out, where I teach folks what not to do and how. We're living off-grid, making friends and mistakes. Got a rooster named Todd who critiques my take. Built a compost bin, it exploded at dawn. Turns out raccoons don't like being pawned. Tried to dig a well, hit a septic, mistakes. Got a rooster named Todd who critiques my take. Built a compost bin, it exploded at dawn. Turns out raccoons don't like being pawned. Tried to dig a well, hit a septic line. Now my boots smell like regret and brine. I got scars on my shins and splinters in mistakes. Got a rooster named Todd who critiques my take. Built a compost bin, it exploded at dawn. Turns out raccoons don't like being pawned. Tried to dig a well, hit a septic line. Now my boots smell like regret and brine. I got scars on my shins and splinters in mistakes. Got a rooster named Todd who critiques my take. Built a compost bin, it exploded at dawn. Turns out raccoons don't like being pawned. Tried to dig a well, hit a septic line. Now my boots smell like regret and brine. I got scars on my shins and splinters in mistakes. Got a rooster named Todd who critiques my take. Built a compost bin, it exploded at dawn. Turns out raccoons don't like being pawned. Tried to dig a well, hit a septic line. Now my boots smell like regret and brine. I got scars on my shins and splinters in pride. Uber just laughs and takes me for a ride. Posted a vlog called How to Build a Shed. It's now a squirrel casino instead. Who sells real estate. Just know it comes with bruises isn't blame. But me and old Uber, we're doing just fine. We got dirt in our wounds and stars in our minds.
All right, guys, I got the trailer situated. Went ahead and pulled the truck over there by the cabin. So we're thinking about, don't know yet, but I've mentioned before that I want to cut a back road up to the boneyard area to Ryder's hideout. As you can see, it's mainly small trees here. There is a couple of decent ones, but from what I've seen, no real major big trees. And if we're able, if you can see right through there, the tan right there is right there where that shed is. And if we're able to cut a road right through here, it cuts down the distance and the big hill that we got to maneuver over here, and widening the driveway a lot of distance and a lot less turns to get that building up here. And with me wanting to go ahead and do a different road down there anyways, to be able to do kind of like a roundabout situation for down there, it might be a better option for us to go ahead and cut a new road straight from the boneyard straight down there, because it's probably only 100 yards that way versus probably a quarter of a mile this way, with a lot of twists and turns and all of that. So we're going to look into that as well whenever Gumby gets over here with Bertha. I believe Bertha will be able to walk through there and knock most of these small trees down pretty easily and give a nice about 20 to 22 foot wide road straight to Ryder's hideout, so I can access everything from up on the hill without having to use that other road. That other road won't be useless, because there'll be times that I need to use that as well to do like a roundabout or something like that. So it's an option. I'm thinking that's probably going to end up being the least dangerous way to move that. So we're going to look at that here in a couple of days. It's rainy for today and tomorrow, so I'm just trying to get a lot of this prep work done for the move. There's a ton of prep work, guys, that goes into all of these bigger projects like this here on the mountain, and anybody's homestead for that fact. A lot of times y'all don't actually see all the prep work that goes into it, but sometimes it takes days and days to even get ready to start the project. And so I'm trying to work in between the rain to keep that moving so it runs nice and smooth once we get the rest of the equipment up here on the mountain. All right, let's go ahead and get these 6x6 down there in the area. Kind of want to get a visual, and I'll show y'all what I'm thinking as far as moving that big old 18 by 35 foot building.
Man with a mountain plan, bought raw land with a coffee can, got 2 tractors, Uber and taxi, one's slow and sweet, one's wild and sassy. Domino barks at the morning fall, Eclipse chases shadows like it's his job. We're clearing brush, building dreams from scratch, with a chainsaw choir and a duct tape lash. I'm doing my best with a busted rake, growing hope and making mistakes. Got chickens that ride and ducks that swear, goats on the roof and pigs in my chair. I film it all with a wink and a grin, trying to homestead and maybe win. Mountain man life with a YouTube twist. If the garden don't grow, I'll just eat grits. Tried planting carrots, got a field of weeds. Post a top 10 garden in misdeeds. Uber dug a trench through my septic line. Taxi built a ramp and called it mine. Domino's a foreman, Eclipse runs a crew. coupe with a crooked door. Now they roost in my truck and snore on the floor. I got fans online who cheer and tease. Nice go fail and you should plant cheese, but I keep on swinging that rusty hoe with dreams of tomatoes and a late night show. I'm doing my best with a busted rake, growing hope and making mistakes. Got chickens that ride and ducks that swear, goats on the roof and pigs in my chair. I film it all with a wink and a grin, trying to homestead and maybe win. Mountain man life with a YouTube twist. If the garden don't grow, I'll just eat grits. With dirt on their face, who turn wild land into a livable place. Me, Uber, taxi, and the doggone crew. We're building a life one fail at a time, it's true. Yeehaw!
Well, as you've seen coming down the drive, there was a couple of places I need to maneuver just a little bit with this 20-foot around here. The reason why I unloaded Uber up there and brought it down with the tractor, I wanted to try to see about the width and maneuvering coming down to Rider's Hideout here with a 20-foot thing. This building is actually 18 foot wide, so it's about 2 foot wider with the 20 foot than what it's going to be, about a foot on each side once I put these down. But as you can see, they have it staked to the ground right there, which means there's already holes all the way through that little square tube right there. So the plan is to put one of those 2x6s across there, lag bolt it down over there as well, and then be able to come in here with the grapple, grab it and pick it up just a little bit and be able to start moving it down. Now, in order to go up the hill like I was talking about, this area right here is plenty wide enough so we can come out and shift around there. We'll have to take this fence down right here, which is no big deal. It needs to come down anyways. And then start going up the hill right here where you see some of the smaller trees and work our way around. And there's not a lot of big trees from here to there. So I think that'll end up working out pretty well. Won't know until we get in there and start clearing, but I think that's going to be the easiest route. We're already planning on digging up these stumps here anyways that you see here in the ground. So I think that's going to be our best bet. It's definitely a lot less twists and turns. And this hill right here gradually goes up instead of such a straight up that we got down there on the main road. But when Gumby gets here in a couple of days, once the rain stops, we'll kind of walk it, come up with a game plan. We're going to go ahead and put these 6x6s down, leave them down here, and then go ahead and bring Uber back, because within the next 2 days, I got a couple more projects I need to do with Uber before we start this. But I think this is going to work out real well. It's definitely going to be an adventure. There's no doubt about that. But I do believe it's going to work. And also, I'm going to have to deal with this before we move it. That right there is a lot of wasps. That is going to have to go down before we move this building. Come on. Whew, we got 2 days of rain out here, and one of the days within like 5 hours we got 3 inches. It dumped load a ton of rain out here. It was only calling for like 0.70 inches of rain and ended up getting 3 inches in 5 hours, which was a downpour. So that's unfortunate. It put the progress back quite a bit, to be honest with you. But luckily this is up on a hill, and I think that a lot of the water won't stand and stuff up here and shouldn't be too bad. We went ahead and held off clearing the road for 2 days. I actually went to O'Reilly's and got 5 gallons of hydraulic fluid for Gumby's backhoe, and got him all filled up and all of that. That way Bertha's ready to come to the mountain. So today is day 2 since it's rained yesterday. In the morning it was still misting and raining just a little bit, and it was a very cloudy day yesterday, so we didn't get a lot of sunshine. Not that sunshine is going to get into this area much anyways, but I figured I would come back here and walk it and come up with the path that we're going to bring this building through, and check the ground and all of that before everybody actually gets here. And I've also got the measuring wheel to go ahead and measure and see how far the distance is actually going to be as well. For the most part, there's small trees here. Stuff that I don't think that Gumby will have a very hard time with Bertha kind of getting rid of. The goal is for him to push them over, and then I will grab them with the grapple and move them out of the way down the hill somewhere and try to clear a nice path. There is a couple of big trees that is going to be concerning, but not too many. I'm thinking that this one right here is going to end up having to go, and then we'll be able to clear out all of this section right here, because the ideal is to go right through here. So we got a couple that he might have to dig up underneath and push down. And of course, we've got rock. But as you can see, it starts sloping down right there, but it's nowhere near as aggressive as it is down there on the road. But I think if we come up through this section right here, there's not as many big trees, and we should be able to clear all of this out pretty well. A lot of this stuff is small. We'll probably start with all the small stuff and then kind of cherry pick which big trees we got to take out at the time. And next year, this would be a good hunting area as well. I also want to try to keep it on as flat as ground as possible, because as you see, it starts dipping down there. It probably doesn't show up on the camera very well, and starts dipping down at a slope there as well. And I don't want the building like this coming up here. It is beautiful back here though. Like I said, tons of these smaller trees. There's no trees here that's like real huge, so that's encouraging. Oh, look guys, I got hung up. I do got my boots on. I'm not out here in Crocs today because of danger noodles and briars. See, and right there is where the shed is, and the goal is to kind of bring it right up through here. So if we can bring it up here, get rid of this little grouping, that little grouping right there, I believe we can kind of swing it up and start coming this direction, and then kind of walk our way straight up that way right there. That's the goal anyways. It'll start playing itself out a whole lot more once we get back here and start clearing. I think we're gonna start at the boneyard area and clear our way back to this area. Thinking that's gonna be our best bet. And try to level this out as much as possible. Also came up with another idea, which we will go over when we get down here to the shed. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab the measuring wheel and go ahead and start measuring it now that I got somewhat of an idea of the path that I want to take. Briars, briars, briars. See, tons of small stuff. Tons of small stuff. Look at that big old rock. We're also going to end up taking a trailer full of rock back down to Gumby's whenever we're done with this project right here for his ponds and little water features and stuff that he's doing there on his property. Definitely going to make the boneyard area look a lot bigger once we clear all of this out. Now, I was estimating about 100 yards, maybe 1.5 football fields, maybe like 150 yards. Let's see how close I am. We're going to start right here on the edge. And try to do as direct path as possible. Of course, we got a bunch of vines that we're having to deal with. Yeah, look at this. Oh, that does not feel good at all. Ow. You come to join me, Eclipse? You gonna walk it out? Some thick stuff. Can be a little bit longer, just because I am going around some stuff instead of bushwhacking. But I'm just trying to get an estimate of how far it is. I've been saying a football field, and I think I'm pretty close. There you have it, guys. 351 feet. Like I said, about a football field. Versus about a mile, about a quarter of a mile that way. Definitely think that's going to be the thing to do. It's a lot of work in between now and then, though. Put that there. All right, so as you know, there has been some rock put here and over here where the shelves used to be. There was about a truckload of rock there and a little bit over there for the septic tank. So my plan is All of this is going to be graded anyways, sloping down to go to the creek over there. So in some of the softer areas up on this hill, once we get the road cut in, I'm going to take Uber and probably Bertha as well with the bucket. We're going to scoop up all of this rock over here and take it up there and put it on the road that we're cutting up the hill right there. I think that will help with traction and erosion and also low spots and all of that. And that way all of this rock doesn't end up being wasted. I'm going to leave it in the driveway right there. All of this is getting graded out and there's rock all up in there. You just can't see it because of the weeds. So I definitely think that's the thing to do. Try to utilize it so it doesn't just get all mixed up once we start grading all of this out. So yeah, about a football field away. So I think if we take it nice and slow, I think we can move this. It's going to be sketchy no matter how we do it, but I think slow and steady is going to win the race on this one. The main thing is making sure that we get that road prepped properly and make sure we have plenty of space to get it up there. And I do have Simple Life Reclaim coming to be our eyes, because I'll be inside of it and Gumby will be on the outside of it out there moving it, just to kind of help navigate it down the road. It's going to be an adventure, guys, but there's a lot of prep, like I said earlier, to even start moving something like this. So I think we're at a good spot. The next step, this is all going to change, guys. It's about to open up. About to bring a little sunlight in here. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Mother Nature is going rounds with me, guys, going rounds with me, but I ain't going to let it whoop me. I love every single one of y'all, and until we see each other again, come on, let's go on another adventure.
Out in the sticks where the wild things grow, there's a man with a cam and a tractor that glows.